Hello, everyone. My name is Sylvester Hurt, but everybody call me Rico. Y'all don't need to know why, but let's go with Rico. Let's let's say branch of service, Army. Did a little time in the National Guard, but I don't really count that weekend warrior stuff. I'm either go all the way with it or I ain't going with it at all. You feel me? So that's what it was. Joined the military from Augusta, Georgia. Shout out to Uptown. Shout out to Baco Road. Shout out to, Butler High School, Butler Bulldogs, all that. I'm still repping that till it's over with, but that's what it is with me. That was just my hustle just to get out my mama house, for real, cause me and her was like, I ain't gonna say we was beefing or going back and forth, but as you get older, and you in the house down south, like it's more and more rules, it's more and more this, more and more that. You got to come in early and all that. And then, I really wasn't trying to go to college because I was tired of school. I just got out of high school. I'm done with college. So I really wanted to do something where I can get some money. You know what I'm saying? Stack some college money up if I want to go to college later and travel and get a skill and, pretty much see what was going on with it like that. So if there's a gas alert, there's a warning that's toxic. It's toxic chemicals or whatever in the air. It's time for you to don all your equipment. So we sitting at the camp one day, and then over the radio come over gas, gas, gas. This is not a drill. Gas, gas, gas. This is not a drill. So it was like 120, 130 degrees. We got to put full mop suit on. I mean, military operation posture, protective posture, whatever you call it. So that's the mask. That's the full jacket. That's the whole, like the pants with the overalls. That's the rubber boots. And then you got another mask that go on top of all that, gloves and all of that. So we stayed in that posture for about 4 hours because we didn't get cleared. So when it was time to come out of that posture, one of the standard operating procedures is the lowest ranking or whoever is around you got to take their mask off first. So the call came over the radio, all clear, all clear, all clear. And I never forget the sergeant first class that was in charge of the camp where we was at pointed to my boy and was like, all right, you the lowest ranking, take your mop suit off, do a lap around the camp and come back. And my man's looked at the sergeant like, I ain't taking shit off. Like, you can take your own shit off. I ain't taking shit off. So then, they had went back and forth, exchanged words for about a good 15 seconds. And then fuck it was this other dude jumped up. He was like, fuck it, I'll take mine off. It's hot as fuck. Y'all chill out. Y'all ain't got to do all that. But before that happened, my boy Smitty had to grab his rifle, locked and loaded. You know what I'm saying? Everybody like, whoa, 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 easy. By the time he took off his mask, like you could see it in his eyes, like he was gone. Like he didn't appreciate that particular threat on his life. And then like for me, witnessing somebody like him go through that, and he's such a super humble dude, raised by his grandparents, love to go to church, always positive. For him to snap like that, I knew one day, like, something could happen to me out here where I could snap like that. And that was my first deployment. That moment changes the way I interact with people, like how close I get with people or how much I feel like I think I know them. I know that there's a whole nother world to them that I would never know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would have never thought that person had that in them to go that level and to go that route and to lock and load on, their superiors based off of, a lawful order that was sent down to them. Mind you, what I'm saying? We thousands of miles away from home. We in the middle of nowhere. All we have out here is law and order. You know what I'm saying? And he wasn't wanting to break the rules back in the rear. So why would he come all the way out here and flip? So it's like, it didn't make me judge him or look down on him or something. Just like going forward, I just know that people got another level in them that, that I probably never be privy to unless they was put in that situation and, that it gets revealed to me in that way. So that's how it changed me for real. You just feel different. You just feel out of place for a long time. You never really, you never really shuffle yourself back into that deck of cards that is the United States. You know what I'm saying? You always standing out like a card flipped over. The way you view things. because your whole perception of the world it has a little extra sprinkle on it. So the way I used to look at this movie, now I got a different perception on what this movie really means. Or is this? I thought this was entertainment when I first saw it, but now I kind of see it as propaganda. I thought that uh these things were okay, but now these things now they kind of look like they look a little suspect. So just my view on the whole world and how I view myself too. You know what I'm saying? How I view myself in the sense of how others view me. Like, am I just a meal ticket to some cats? Am I just like it just made me more like conscious and almost like suspicious almost, you know what I'm saying? So to that degree that I feel like that's how I changed. And those are some of the reasons why I feel like I was never able to fit back in once I got back to society after my first time going to war. I remember signing up for school right after I got off active duty. Um, so I'm back in my hometown. Moved back in with my mom's. I ain't had nowhere to stay yet. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to get back into the swing of things. And I never forget I drove a Buick Roadmaster. You know what I'm saying? Big body, wide front seats, all that. So I'm on the way to Augusta Tech. I was taking IT classes up there, and I'm riding down Deansbridge Road, and then just for some reason out of nowhere, I start sweating, kind of like I am now. But I usually ride around. I ride around. I got my shirt off. I got the AC blowing and stuff like that. So it ain't really really was no reason for me to be sweating. So first I noticed myself start sweating, and then I started thinking myself walking in class, and then I started thinking about other things, and I just started panicking. You know what I'm saying? And like this had never happened to me before, like to just really like lose control like that. So long story short, you know what I'm saying? I end up turning around and like going home, and I ain't go back in the house. I was just sitting in the driveway because it was like I was trying to figure out what was going on with me. Not knowing at the time, like I've been through a lot of therapy and stuff like that since then, but not knowing at the time, that was me just subconsciously just processing so much trauma, so much crap, so much BS that I didn't put it in the proper place, and it showed up on my way to school. You know what I'm saying? To the point where I couldn't even make it to class. And like I went in the military so that I could travel and possibly get college money so that I can go to college later. But here I am. Now it's time for me to go to college, and I can't even concentrate. I can't even think. I can't even, you know what I'm saying? So it was like I feel like out of place. And then you know what I'm saying? I'm back home where I'm back home with my homeboys and stuff. Like, ain't really nobody like you can really, really talk to that you can really break that kind of stuff down. And then all of a sudden, and then also at the same time, it's a lot of pride in a way. You don't want to talk to nobody because you don't want nobody to think you messed up. And then you don't really accept it yourself. You be like, oh, I'll be all right. Just a couple shots of hand, smoke tonight. I'll be all right. Hit the club. I'm good. Wake up. And then you start the next day hoping that, everything good. So I say one of the major losses that hit home for me is when I lost a good childhood friend of mine, Richard Green, and he wasn't in my unit or anything like that. In fact, he was in the Navy. He wasn't even in the Army. And I got back to Augusta. Turns out the same time that's when he got back. We was working at the same place. You know what I'm saying? We even chilled a couple of times, smoked, chilled. I didn't really see him out because he was a family man. He had 4 kids and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? So I remember being in the National Guard on the weekend. I was actually drilling that weekend. I was sitting in the back of a Humvee, putting in the Singar's radio and getting ready to hook up the antenna. So I'm literally just propped up, screwing in the Singar's radio, and then my phone rang. So I picked the phone up. As soon as I picked the phone up, my mom was like, "You sitting down?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm sitting down." Like, what's going on? Like, and then she told me, she was like, you know what I'm saying? Well, Richard Green. he passed away. This is the way he passed away, and he left behind 4 kids. Blah blah blah. Boom boom boom. Whoop whoop whoop. And man, it's just like it just took me so it took me so far away from myself. Like I couldn't believe the news. It was like I can't believe like this is actually like the way he went out. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to say it on camera, but it's a way a lot of veterans that return from deployment go out if they don't know how to handle and manage, you know, this newfound person that they are trying to shuffle themselves back into the deck of society. You know what I'm saying? It's just too much pressure, or whatever it is. It's just enough for them to make them want to commit the ultimate act, if you will. So that loss really still touched me to this day. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I really wouldn't be on no type of stuff like, hey man, like how you feel or whatnot. I would take him to the places that I have been here recently to, help sort out some of the confusion and stuff in my mind that I had to deal with for years and I'm still dealing with now. You know what I'm saying? I would present him to these resources, but I tell him, look, let's get this money. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Definitely, definitely. You have to have the courage to reach out to those who is not going to judge you for reaching out to them in those moments. Because I've been in relationships with women that I feel like I can't be open enough with to even share that part of my life with them. I think like I'll be viewed as weak, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe that'll get thrown back in my face later. Oh, you such and such, blah, blah. You called my phone the other night crying. Now you sitting here trying to act like a man. Like, I don't need that. You know what I'm saying? And then, you just, in my deepest, darkest moments, like, I just thank God that I know who to call and that they've always picked up the phone. You know what I'm saying? That they've always picked up the phone. I mean, I don't know bragging shit, but I mean, I just feel like I was tried and true. Like I was downrange. There were things that I knew, things that I trained on, things that I bust my ass to know that when I was called on, they said, "Hey, Hurt, we need you to do X, Y, Z." I had X, Y, Z burned in my brain so hard. I mean, I didn't have to have a second thought, and I was able to do that. So I came back. I came back with that in my bag. I came back with that saying like, I'm tried, I'm tested, I'm true. I'm tried, I'm tested, I'm true. I done been through the fire, and I know if somebody need me for what I said I was gonna do, that I'm gonna be able to do it. You know what I'm saying? With beyond a shadow of a doubt. So it just made me more confident. Really, I read this book um by the dude by the name of this dude called David Goggins, and the book is called "Can't Hurt Me." He had a passage in there when he was talking about his father abused him, and he was talking about that little boy that was weak, that couldn't do nothing for his father, that couldn't do nothing for his mother that was getting beat and all of that. And then in that split second, I saw that little boy who I was like in the military. I saw that little boy who I was before I went to the military, before I put the uniform on, before I ever learned any drills or any cadences or anything. I saw that little boy, and I put the book down. I immediately like I broke down, and I had to apologize to myself because what I did is I set that little boy down. Um, that little boy that was in me, I set him down and I stood that man up. And when I stood that man up and I sent that man on off, you know, to do what he had to do. That's all fine and dandy, but what happened is I forgot about that little boy. And reading that passage when he was talking about being weak and talking about he wasn't enough, I knew that little boy wasn't enough to do what, I had promised, what I raised my right hand and promised that I was going to do with that uniform on and represent my country far away. You know what I'm saying? So do I miss that boy, that person, that young man I used to be? Sure. Sure. Long gone. Long gone. Long gone, but not forgotten. So that little boy had his purpose in my life. That little boy had um that little boy brought me to places and experiences and all of that I needed at that time. But that little boy was not ready to go to war and come back home. That little boy would have died over there. I needed that. I needed that man inside of me who I was. You know what I'm saying? Everybody to my left and to my right couldn't depend on that little boy. They needed that man who I am to depend on. You know what I'm saying? So I miss him, but he's gone. But I can carry a fully automatic machine gun in the war. You know what I'm saying? Successfully come back home. But now I'm at home and I got McDonald's down the street. I got my car. I got AC. I got my girl. I got whatever. And I'm feeling something that's attacking me. That's bigger than any enemy I ever faced because it's attacking me from within. You know what I'm saying? And it's a feeling that I never felt before. And I don't know how to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? So it just make you feel vulnerable and weak. It don't make you feel like the soldier you was trained to be. I mean, everybody just basically had to adjust to the new me, just like me. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't the only person that missed that little boy. There's a lot of people miss that little boy. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people miss how meek I was or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that I was no bitch before I went in the military. Like, I ain't saying that. What I'm saying is like, I wasn't as turned up. I was like, it's other levels that I reached and I wasn't shy about ever displaying that. You know what I'm saying? And, some traces of who I was peeked in and out of, my life after the military. But I mean, it was obvious. Um, Buying more guns, drinking more, partying more, being a little more reckless. And that goes back to that confident thing. You kind of, mishandling my confidence. Um, and just not really being a good person that people want to be around, like being that kind of guy, just freaking jerk. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's what people had to deal with. When it comes to me, like after war, like that's what people had to deal with, and I also had to deal with it because I had to deal with the consequences of moving in that manner. I took a trip up to Virginia because before I left active duty, I was stationed in Fort Lee. Before I left active duty and got cleared to go back in the military, of course I'm drinking and speeding, so I got a speeding ticket. So I moved down to Georgia, moved back to Georgia, moved back to my mom's crib. You know what I'm saying? But I still had to drive back to Virginia to go to court and pay the ticket. They wouldn't let me pay it like online or call or send nothing. Like I was going so fast, like I literally had to go to court. You know what I'm saying? So boom, I decided to take one of my partners with me. I was like, oh, okay. I got to go to court anyway. Boom. I'm finna turn this into a road trip. I'm finna show them around how we used to get down. We finna go to a couple of clubs. We finna do whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I gets up there, had a lovely morning, went to court. Everything was Gucci. We stopped by and I think I went to an audio shop. I think I put some more speakers in my car. Had a good time. Met up with another one of my little partners up there, and we all went to the club. So we, of course, drinking, smoking, wilding. And when I say I blacked out, I spazzed out, put it like this. I kind of remember being in the I kind of remember being in the parking lot of the club, and then after that, my next memory was waking up in the hospital with no pants on, and the nurse handed me a note. Said these people said call you. These people said for you to call them when you wake up, and I'm looking at her like, who the fuck is you? You know what I'm saying? So I get the number. I'm like, yo, what happened? They like, you all right? You all right? I completely like blacked out, and they told me the whole story, whatever, blah blah. So this was this was an early glimpse into the new me, like the new who I was before the healing, the new how I was choosing to cope with, the pain and everything I was going with. That like that was like the first little slight peak. The very, 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 very beginning of the healing was the hardest because it's so much denial. It's so much you don't want to accept that you even need to heal. When I was little, I believe it or not, I used to volunteer at the VA hospital, and because I was too young to work, and I really wanted to work, but if you volunteered at the VA hospital, what they'll do is the next summer you can get a work permit, even though you ain't even old enough to work. So I signed up for the program. I was like, yeah, because I got to get to the money, next year. Like this year, I'm gonna have to sit out. I'm gonna volunteer. They got me. But next year, after I get this permit, this cert, boom, I'm finna do something. I don't care what it is. So I'm at the VA hospital, and they had me in the lunchroom, like serving sandwiches and stuff like that. So the vets and stuff would come through, like they be looking all rusty and mean and like drugged out. Like you can see it in their eyes, like they going, like, man, like, all right. I don't want to have anything to do with this. Like, I grew up thinking like that. Like, nah. I grew up thinking like I ain't never going to go in the military because I don't ever want to look like none of these motherfuckers. And then I grew up and turned right into one of these. You know what I'm saying? So that's crazy how I come around like that. But you know what I'm saying? Like, just the times when I let myself go for like long periods of time and uh just allowing like depression to take over. So I'm not leaving the house like I want to. I'm not picking up the phone no more. I'm not working no more. Ain't no money coming in no more. And at the time, at my lowest times, I didn't have no VA percentage. So when the first come around, ain't no checks, just bills coming around, bills not getting paid. That's when it hurts. That's when it hurts the most is when the demand of life is on your neck and you don't care about the threats. You don't care about the consequences. I don't care if that get cut off. I don't care if y'all come take that. I don't care if the dishes piled up. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if I took a shower today. You know what I'm saying? It's like even in my darkest times, there was always like a little bit of light. And I ain't gonna say the light would judge me, but the light would ask me, like, is this you? This how you gonna do it? You know what I'm saying? You know you better than this, right? Like, I'm still scrounging up pennies to go get a beer, and I'm fully grown. I'm fully like, but I'm just gone, and it hurts to be in that position. It hurts to be that kind of guy when I know I'm better than that. It wasn't that I was skeptical. It was that I didn't know what level of whatever this was going to be. I know what kind of care I get back in the US. You know what I'm saying? I know I make a phone call to make an appointment to have it scheduled for months out. And I know that the care isn't very consistent. I know that the care doesn't compensate from the time when you have to leave your job. And so every time you leave, wherever you're working to do whatever, every time you leave, it's almost like a favor. Like, oh, okay, you're not coming back after lunch. You're going to be gone. Like, yeah, I got a VA appointment. Another one? Like, well, yeah, I'm trying to not be fucking crazy. You know what I'm saying? Let me go work on my healing. Let me go work on my back. I'm like, when I turn 60, I don't want to be in a fucking wheelchair. Let me do the things that they recommended I do, especially since my next appointment ain't gonna be until whenever if I miss this one. So you kind of reluctant, like in the back in the States, I was just reluctant to even work on myself because it wasn't no time. I got rent to pay. I got a car. I got to put gas in it. I got food to get. You know what I'm saying? Then I'm trying to have some type of social life. So I'm spending money going around doing stuff like that, and then like it just ain't no time to heal in the States. You feel what I'm saying? So when I got the USADR, and I'm like, dang, I can talk to the chiropractor now. I don't gotta wait next month, next week. Oh, in an hour I can go, or I can go talk to the psychologist now, or oh, I don't gotta take the medicine. Y'all got other like holistic ways of for me to approach healing. Um, I don't gotta sit in a corny group therapy with a bunch of strangers. Like I actually get to know these guys, and I actually get to know their stories, and I actually get to live around them. Kind of like when I was in the military, and I formed that bond with my comrades. Like this is a new place for new comrades. So now the group therapy actually means something because I actually care about these guys versus a room full of strangers. Like back in the States, it's just like I, I feel the care out here. I feel the love out here. I feel you know what I'm saying? Like these people look like me, and I ain't talking about like skin color. I'm talking about like they scars. You know what I'm saying? We healing from the same shit. You know what I'm saying? We trying to move in the same kind of way. Move to a place of like better healing, and it's like that's part of the healing too. And I know that I'm helping somebody else heal just by me being honest about, hey, I'm broken. Hey, I'm fucked up. Hey, I need to get right. That's helping somebody else heal. Somebody that's right here with me that look like me. And USADR vets like showed me something of my dreams as far as like healing. Cause I hadn't already made up in my mind this back pain that I got. Like I'm gonna have that forever. This the not being able to sleep, that's gonna be forever. You know what I'm saying? These having these unprocessed emotions and thoughts and stuff about my past and as it pertains to war and my tours of service. I just felt like that was what it was always going to be. But this place showed me that it does not have to be like that. Matter of fact, it's not going to be like that. And here's how. And here are several other people that are doing the same thing. There you go. The rest is up to you. So I'm so grateful for that to the bottom of my heart. So man, I was going in circles, ups and downs, same cycle. This happened. This happened. That happened. This happened. I'm up again. I'm down again. I'm back again. I'm caught up. I'm behind. I'm trying. I'm waiting. I stopped. I started. I'm this. It is the same shit over and over and over. And it's like, they say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. I was going insane because I kept doing the same shit where I'm gonna get this little job. I'm gonna work this part of my career. You know what I'm saying? Thank God that I'm skilled enough to actually do career work. But as a contractor, that shit is come and go. If you ain't locked in, like somebody and somebody GS position. You ain't kissing ass in somebody corporate position. You ain't goddamn doing this and that. If you ain't in the right place at the right time and know the right people, then you basically just out there at the will of whatever as a contractor. And that's the life I chose, you know what I'm saying? And I accept everything that come with it. But at the same time, I notice myself going in the same pattern. I wanted to break that cycle. I wanted to break that pattern. And coming out here was my way of doing that. Thank God I've been out here several times. I have been in several places all around the world. I'm well traveled. Several passports stamped up. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna need another passport soon. You know what I'm saying? You got to hook up on passports. You know what I'm saying? Holla at your boy, I might need another one. Like I don't play around with that sky. I get in that thing and I move around. So for me to come out here, I mean, it's like it made more sense for me to come out here than to stay home and try to get something different done. Cause I hadn't already done that. Like, okay, well, I'm gonna take some time off of work and I'm gonna just focus in on VA appointments and this and that. It's not the same as here. It's not as intense because the durations between the appointments is still real long. The support in between isn't as strong as here. The camaraderie isn't here, and then the temptation is still, fall off track or get sidetracked from your healing is so great. You know what I'm saying? All it takes is one or two bad relationships, and then you back on the wagon. Or you got one of your friends come down from out of town. Now you back smoking weed. Or you have a good night and you watching the game with them and you back on the drink. And you don't have that reinforcement that you need. You know what I'm saying? You don't got your battle buddy to your left or to your right saying, okay, boom. You know what I'm saying? You got this. I see you trying. Oh, I see you back in the gym. That was up. Or whatever. You know, I got homeboys that hit me up out here on the same shit. Man, I'm on my third week. I ain't drinking. I'm on my second month. I ain't smoking. Boom, I ain't doing cocaine no more. Boom, I ain't doing this. Da da da. Or whatever. Not saying that anybody was doing whatever, but out here you could be openly vulnerable to a point where you can lower yourself or raise yourself up enough to heal. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the main things that like I'm like super grateful for this intense environment of healing that break from the norm. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing I would even pray for because I wouldn't even know that this would exist to pray for. We got one psych doctor out here, named Dr. Dennis. And his name kind of buzzes around the village. Like he's really good. He's really, 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 really good at what he does. You know what I'm saying? And I was sitting and talking with him for about an hour. And I didn't know what he was doing until the very end of the session. You know what I'm saying? But we started from childhood on up to this very day, to this moment where I'm at right now. And he was like, so tell me about, one of the positive memories you had as a child, one of the times you laughed, something you enjoyed, something that stuck out to you. And so I tell him the story. He said, oh, okay. Tell me another one. Tell him another one. He said, oh, okay. Tell me another one. He did this over and 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 over again. Telling you he was in there for like an hour. I'm in this office talking and laughing like you would have thought like my best friend walked in there and we was smoking a blunt and had a bottle of whiskey on the table. I'm telling him everything. I'm like, oh yeah. And then there's this one time, da da da. And like, my life is wild. My life is crazy. My life, like, it need to be a movie, like, straight up. So I'm just spitting off stuff to him. And then at the end of all that, he was like, he wrote three things down on the goddamn on the little board he got in there. I got the notes in my phone, but I'm gonna try to remember. He put family, friends, and nature. He was like, every one of them stories you told me, either it was a family member involved, there was a friend involved, and it had something to do with being outside, nature, da da da. And like, he was like, whatever you do in life, whatever you plan in life, is that you need to plan it around these things right here, because this is where you get your most joy. This is where you create your best memories. This is where you have the most fun. This is who you are right here. This makes who you are. You know what I'm saying? I was like, that was like, it made me think like, no matter what I go through in the future, it made me think like, boom, no matter what I go through in the future, I got this powerful tool that I can reach for. I can feel it. It's tangible. It's right here. If I'm drowning, this is my flotation device. If I'm on fire, I can use it to put myself out. Yeah. This place giving me the tools, man. I'm strong, but it don't matter how strong you is. If you ain't got no hammer, you can't build no house. You ain't. If you don't have what you need to push forward, you're gonna be stuck where you at. And this place helped me get unstuck, break these cycles, and go forward. You feel what I'm saying? I'm just trying to think back to my darkest moments. Like, who would I have even listened to? Because when you're in that place, when you're in that hopeless place, when you're in that dark, shitty, ah, can't nobody, for me, it isn't anyone outside of myself that can make me listen to anybody that can change my mind in my darkest times. So I would say to like a hopeless veteran, a hopeless person in general, man, please look inside of yourself and see what God would see. You know, don't even look at yourself with your own eyes. You know what I'm saying? Don't even listen to yourself with your own ears. Think. I know it might sound cheesy or corny or something like that, but like, think and do what God will want you to do to get yourself out of that situation, because when you that when you that far and you that dark and you that deep, only God can save you. You know.